A man is sitting in a taxi when suddenly, a refrigerator falls off the truck in front of them and slams into the cab. Swerving to avoid it, the driver accidentally sends the car right off the bridge, straight into the water below. The man takes a hard hit to the head. Water starts pouring in, and within seconds, the car is almost completely submerged. The man blacks out. Luckily, the driver smashes the rear window just in time and pulls him out. Soon, paramedics arrive on the scene. When the man finally wakes up, he's in a hospital bed and he's been in a coma for 4 whole days. Something's wrong with his memory. Everything around the crash is gone. All he remembers is that his name is Martin, he's an American botanist with a PhD, and he came to Germany with his wife to attend an international science conference. Not wanting his wife to worry, Martin checks himself out of the hospital and heads straight back to their hotel. The moment he finds her, he breathes a sigh of relief, but then she drops a bombshell. She claims she's never seen him before in her life. Martin is stunned. His own wife doesn't recognize him? Then things get even crazier. She calls over another man and says, "This is my husband." And get this guy is also named Martin, also a botanist with a PhD. Security drags Martin out of the hotel. He calls the police to prove who he is, but when they pull up Dr. Martin's file, the photo has already been replaced with the imposter's face. Now the manager is convinced Martin is just causing trouble. Facing arrest, Martin quickly explains he was in a car accident and his memory might be off. After a sincere apology, the manager lets him go. Outside the hotel, Martin spots his wife, getting cozy with the imposter. His emotions are all over the place. What the hell is going on? To prove his identity, he heads to a phone booth and calls his old friend Dr. Cole for help, but nobody picks up. That's when Martin notices something creepy, someone's watching him. So he deliberately heads into the subway. Sure enough, a man starts tailing him. Martin picks up the pace and manages to lose him using the trains. He rushes to Professor Bressler's research lab, because before coming to Germany, he'd spoken with the professor on the phone a few times. Surely the professor can vouch for him. He finds Bressler in the lab, but to his shock, the imposter walks in too. To prove himself, Martin starts recounting their previous phone conversations word for word. But the imposter knows every detail too.
But she insisted, and that's how I first saw Leonardo's Vitruvian Man!
Professor Bressler is dumbfounded. Just then, the police show up. As Bressler hesitates, the imposter pulls out his ID. Everything on it matches Martin's info, only the photo is different. Worst of all, there's even an old photo of the imposter with Martin's wife. For a moment, Martin starts to wonder, did the accident really mess up his head? Then his injury flares up and he passes out. Back to the hospital he goes. A kind-hearted nurse takes pity on him and recommends a private investigator. When his doctor arrives, Martin gets a sedative and is taken in for tests. But when he comes to, the first face he sees is the man who'd been tailing him. The stalker tries to take him away, but a nurse walks in. She doesn't recognize the man, and as she questions him, he kills her on the spot. Then he starts disposing of the body. Martin seizes the moment and bolts. Pushing through the crowded hospital halls, he loses the stalker and escapes. After this, Martin is sure of one thing, his wife must be in trouble and can't admit she knows him. He tracks down the PI the nurse recommended, a former spy who's fascinated by Martin's wild story and agrees to help. The investigator suggests finding the taxi driver who was there during the crash. She might know something. Martin heads to the cab company and locates the driver, Gina. Turns out she's an illegal immigrant who lost her job because of the accident. Feeling guilty, Martin offers her a €5,000 watch as compensation. They head back to her place together. While Martin is washing up, there's a knock at the door. Gina opens it and it's the stalker. He grabs her, while his hitman partner searches for Martin. Hearing the commotion, Martin climbs up to the roof. The hitman assumes he's already fled downstairs and gives chase. Meanwhile, the stalker pulls out poison to finish Gina off. She fights back desperately, throwing off his grip. In the nick of time, Martin charges in. Together, they take down the stalker. Then Martin grabs Gina and they run. The next day, they meet up with the PI. Gina explains she picked Martin up at the hotel. He was heading to the airport, and that's when the crash happened. The PI digs into the upcoming international tech conference and discovers that the VIP, Prince Shada, has been the target of multiple assassination attempts. He suspects someone's trying to replace Martin to get close to the prince and kill him. Martin thinks it adds up, but there's no proof. He decides to find his wife again. Since the imposter is following his exact schedule, Martin tracks him down easily. And then opportunity strikes. His wife leaves the imposter and goes off alone. Martin follows her to a museum. They finally meet face to face, just the two of them, and this time, she drops the act. She tells him to retrieve the briefcase he left at the airport, and meet her at an agreed location. Finally, a glimmer of hope. Martin and Gina rush to the airport. Martin remembers the case's combination, so it opens easily. Inside IDs that prove his real identity. He's getting his life back, and soon, his wife too. But something feels off to Gina. The pieces don't fit. His wife had every chance to leave with him, but didn't. Why arrange another meeting? It doesn't add up. But Martin chooses to trust her, she's his wife. Gina hands back the watch and walks away. The moment she leaves, a figure appears, it's Dr. Cole, Martin's old friend. Martin is overjoyed. But what happens next, he never sees coming. Cole leads Martin to a car. From a distance, Gina sees the whole thing. She grabs a taxi and races after them, all the way to a parking garage. Martin is dragged out of the car. And here, finally, the truth comes out. There is no Martin Harris. He's a fabrication, a person they created to get close to Bressler, to gain entry to the conference through him. It's all a mission. Martin and his wife are partners operatives, and to cover their bases, they built a backup, the second Martin Harris. Everything was going smoothly. Now they just need to dispose of him. But Gina arrives just in time. Without hesitation, she rams her car into the hitman, then into Cole's vehicle. She saves Martin's life by the skin of his teeth. It's then that Martin notices the briefcase from the airport. Hidden in a secret compartment, files, documents, and a second set of passports under different identities for him and his wife. His memory starts coming back in pieces. Their whole identity was fake. 3 months ago, he and his wife had already been to Germany to plan the assassination. They'd planted a bomb in the room where the prince would be staying. Martin is a professional hitman, but Gina tells him it doesn't matter what he was. What matters is what he does next. The prince's motorcade pulls up to the hotel on schedule. He has no idea his room is rigged with danger. Bressler arrives too, with his 2 daughters. Martin's wife greets him warmly, pretending to help carry his briefcase, and slips a signal receiver inside. She heads up to a room, opens her laptop, and pulls out a book identical to the one Martin has. The numbers on the back are the code for the hidden device. She activates the remote 5-minute countdown. Martin and Gina sneak inside, determined to stop the disaster. But hotel security spots them on the cameras and grabs them fast. Martin tells them the truth, someone's trying to kill the prince. He shows them footage from 3 months ago, him and his wife, in disguise, casing the place. The security chief takes it seriously and orders an evacuation, prioritizing the prince's safety. Hearing the alarms, the wife realizes the plan is blown. She tells the fake Martin to take out the target while she disarms the device. But back in the security room, Martin is staring at Bressler and it hits him. The target isn't the prince. It's Bressler. His research is groundbreaking. Eliminate him, steal his work, and it's worth a fortune on the black market. They spring into action. Gina takes out the guards. Martin races off. The fake Martin has already found Bressler and is about to strike when Martin shows up and blocks him. Meanwhile, the wife is still trying to shut down the device, but time runs out. A massive explosion tears through the entire floor. After that final blow, something in Martin changes. His memories come flooding back, and so do his skills as a trained killer. It all comes rushing in like a slideshow. The fake Martin doesn't stand a chance. Martin takes him down without hesitation. Through this twist of fate, and with Gina by his side, Martin transforms from a monster into the hero who slays the monster. For him, this is the ultimate redemption. That's the end of the film. See you next time.